it's your boy Young Love. I give him that thing. Pancho leg stay the Panchi America. Panji Dual, Pancho leg stay the Panchi America. Panji Dual, Ban walk on the lake, Kankara water no watching. Oga level leg, gear power, leg. Panda with ya, Panchi America. Panya Dual, Chingatongo Pandon could you ever buy a check out? Papu Panda Jiro, what ya be Dual venting. Stay the Panchi America, Panji Dual, Pancha leg stay the Panchi America, Panji Dual, Ban walk on the lake, Kankara water no watching, Oga level leg, gear power, leg, Panda with ya, Panchi America, Panya Dual, Chingatongo Pandon, could you ever buy a check out? Paku Panda Jiro, what ya be Dual venting.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you wherever you are tuning in today on Sunday in Australia and also Sunday afternoon in East Africa and South Sudan, morning hours on Sundays in North America. We welcome all of you to join us into this brief interview with Honorable William Koji. Is the Minister of Youth, Sport, Culture, and also is a caretaker Minister of Information of Lagos State Government. Once we kick in, I would like to use also my co-host, Agar Deng Mabok, is here with us. I would like to ask all of you to share this video. We have a very important message that we need to share with all citizens of Lagos State living in diaspora, within East Africa and around the world, wherever you are in. Share the link and the video with your colleague. We'll start with the guest of today, Honorable William Koji, to introduce himself and greet you. Honorable William, welcome to Lagos State Media.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Lagos State Media, for connecting Lagos State.
You are welcome. My co-host Agar, your 10 great people.
Thank you, Brother Isaac Chingfol, and welcome to all the viewers of Lagos State Media, wherever you are, this morning, this afternoon, this evening. And I welcome our brother and our leader, Minister William Kerjok. Welcome to Lagos State Media and all the viewers from our state, which is Lagos State, through our governor, Rintwing, and the rest within South Sudan who are watching tonight. Thank you, guys. And also, I will add my issues because I have it's raining in my state here and it's very windy. That's why my studio is not set up. So if you see me like that, just forgive me for today because it's very windy and it's rainy day today. To all of us here in Adelaide. Thank you. Back to you, Isaac.
All right, thank you, Agar. Honorable Minister, we have seen you walking around, very busy engaging the youth. As Lagos State has been in turmoil, they have been fighting all this time, and now there is peace. We have seen, we have witnessed, and now we feel it. So what are the things that you have been following up? I've seen you going up to Yerul, 3 counties you have visited currently, and there are a lot of youth activities going on. So briefly, can you brief us your portfolio, what you're doing?
Okay, thank you, Isaac. As the concerned Minister for Culture, Youth and Sport in Lake State, it is my role to make sure all the activities related to youth and sport and the culture are in place. And of course, when we start some of the structures that are supposed to host the program related to culture, youth and sport were not in order. The issue of 32 states back to 10 states. 32 states were having its own structures. When we came back to 10 states, those structures were not dissolved, and some of them managed to come up with their local structure so that they run activities related to culture, related to youth, and the sport. Now, as the minister concerned, it is now my responsibility to make sure I go on the ground and look at all the structures which are in place and the other one which are not in place. So that's why I sat together with the Governor General in Mabor and present to him my planning of restructuring the wrestling associations at the all level, because wrestling activities are happening. And of course, they must have a clear defined body where they are answerable to, where if they are carrying out activities relating to wrestling, it is that body to manage the program. Youth, they must also have their own clear defined leaders. It is my responsibility to make sure it happens. And then the sport. You know, Lake State is so much engaged and busy in sport activities. They must have committees managing sport, and then the department running sports in the county level. I have to go and make sure the sport activities are run by the leaders who assigned themselves and mandated to run those activities. So the mission was granted by the governor. Thank God he gave me, I was one of the cabinet member given a car, and we have to make use of those assets by touring our places of work, touring the counties where our duties are also taking place. So he granted me to move and set up the structure as requested, because it is very important. So I started with the Greater Europe, and of course I spent 1 week in Greater Europe. And of course, we start with the wrestling activities, associations. Most of them were confirmed for Yerul West, Yerul East, and Awarial. We also look at the youth structure. We also confirm for Yerul East, for Yerul West, they were not in order. So they have to elect EC committee to run election so that they elect their own leaders. We also went to Awarial. Wrestling association were in order. I have to confirm them. Sport were in order, but they were having issues of saying we must also confirm leaders that we trust to run export activities in our area. So I gave them mandate to make sure they come out with a structure of a sport association in our county. The same to youth. Youth were also given chance, and they have to come up with a structure of youth leadership. So currently, Awarial County is running 2 activities, conducting election for those who will manage sport, and then those who will now be confirmed as their leaders as youth. And then wrestling association, they were in order, have been confirmed. Yesterday, I was in Rubeg East. Those in Rubeg East, they were in order. Youth were in order. I confirmed them. Wrestling association were in order. I confirmed them. And then sport is the one which were not in order. They dissolved the body which were there, and I now gave them mandate to come out with a new body that will run sport in Rumbek East. And the journey will continue to other counties of Lake State. So from there, I will go to Chebet, go to Ulu, go to Rumbek North, and finally, I will finish it with the Rumbek Center. So the major reason of doing this is to come out with a clear, defined body that manage these activities. Because I'm the Minister for Culture, Youth, and Sport, and these three major, as I have mentioned, these three major activities must have their own clear leadership that are given mandate, and they have to run it successfully. So this is what I'm doing currently, and they are cooperating. It is happening in a good way, and the activities continue. The activities of the sport currently, there is this Payam tournament, which is happening all over across the state. The Payam tournament were mean is sport for peace. You remember, if there is peace, and this is what Governor Rin directed since last year. He told me, since there is peace, you must make sure these youth are engaged. They must be busy. They must be, their activities that include wrestling, this football, volleyball, basketball, and all the games that are supposed to be carried out by these youth must be encouraged. So now Payam tournament is going on, where all the Payams, I welcome Secretary General there, I'm seeing him. So all the Payams, which are supposed to participate in youth activities, including these sport activities, were encouraged to come together. They came up with their teams representing their Payams. They play for peace. Most of these counties has played successfully up to the final. When they complete the final, then the champions of this tournament from the county will now come to state. We are going to play a state tournament that now will be represented by this champion of the Payam tournament. Now we remain only with the two counties, Rumbek East and Rumbek North. Ulu is almost about to finish. Chabet have done successfully. Yerul West have done their part successfully. Awarial have done it successfully. Yerul East is supposed to do it today, and I know they will finish it today. Rumbek Sanda is supposed to finish it today. After this interview, I will go to Rumbek Freedom Square to witness the final of Payam tournament for Rumbek Central County. Now, when they finished, as I said before, those who wish Payam tournaments from their county's headquarters, they will now be called to come to the state headquarters. Since Rumbek North is yet to start, we will give them 1 week to make sure they finish it. Then it will push us up to the mid of August. The mid of August, all this team from all the 8 counties of Lake State will come together and they will play. It is all about peace. This peace in Lake State give them this opportunity to exercise their talent, and this is what they are supposed to do. That's why there is Ministry of Culture, Youth, and Sport, and of course the activities related to culture, the activities related to sport, the activities related to youth must be carried out and it must be put in order so that youth found themselves participating in all these activities, because that's what they are supposed to be doing. So Isaac, this is what I want to say briefly about what is going on in the state. Of course, those in wrestling association, we have many teams. We have 8 teams. They form themselves, and it is about peace. They are very active. We have Rumbek team. They form themselves. They are very active. We have a Warial team. They have formed themselves into the station of wrestling. They are very active. And then those who are outside the state, like those in Juba, now they are initiating these wrestling activities at one of their, now it become something need to be done. They have to participate. We call it a wrestling activity. Those who are ready to go and wrestle in a certain place chosen by this team, they are to do it. And the government is there to protect the environment, to protect them. There is already security in place. So such activities are normal. And whoever is ready, they are there to do it. And as a government, as the minister concerned, as the governor is very concerned about youth activities and about such activities to continue engaging our people so that they know this piece belongs to them and this piece is meant for such activity, then there is no any problem for whoever want to carry out such activities. Now, wrestling activities are happening. As you have witnessed recently, we have just finished the one which was called for by Maborde, the junior, and the Bob Mading Bob from Awerial. So it was attended by thousands of youth and the elders of this state, particularly here in Rumbek. It was joyful. So you did it well by connect the program live. You have also introduced our people and what is happening here to those who are outside the country. I also appreciate you for doing that. Now whoever is ready again to call for any team, whether you want to call Rumbek team here, or you call it to them you call them to meet in Europe, or you want them to meet in Shebet, you want them to meet in Wulu, you want them to meet in one of the counties of Lake State, it is peaceful for such activities to take place. And they are there to continue to do it. Whoever is ready to carry out such activities. Sport activities, as I mentioned before, it is happening. Youth programming activities, those who are attending this professional education training, they are participating in it, supporting from our partners, supporting of the governor and the government of the state. I have even proposed for him a training where some of these youth, 100 or 150 of them, the government have to initiate a project, start training them, giving them a skill on computer, giving them, those young mothers, they must be given a skill on hairdressing, because it helps them outside there in the market. So these are some of the activities we are doing currently as a ministry with the support of our government, with the support of our governor, General Rintoin Mabor. But of course, youth is a big body that we don't need them to go idle, because when we allow them to be idle and their rights are not given within our limit, then we will find them doing nonsense. They will write nonsense on social media, whatever, because they are not engaged. And that's why we say you must have your own leaders, and you have a clear, defined structure where you communicate your issue through those bodies. You want to talk to the commissioner, you want to present your issues to the commissioner, you are clearly defined, and you have your leadership. A leadership elected by you, and that's what is happening. So, Isaac, I'm happy to be here, and these are the brief summary. This is the brief summary I have to say about what is happening in Lake State. When I was touring the counties are peaceful. The policy of saying agriculture for all for food is taking place. Many of our people has gone to farming. They have really cultivated. So there is going to be enough food for the people of Lake State after harvesting. This is what I have seen, and I have witnessed it myself. So our county authorities, they are trying their level best. Though there is economic crisis in the country, then there is no need for us to give up. The little that we have, we must utilize it. The little fuel that we have in our vehicle, we must use it for traveling to where our people are found, or whatever our people are doing on the ground, we must reach there. So I have seen a lot of activities taking place in the counties. They are peaceful. This social coexistence program, including marriages, is taking place. Our sons and sisters from outside the country, they are coming home. Recently, one of our players, this guy called Wenyin Gabriel, who has been a member of NBA basket, he came here recently, and he was very happy to come back home. He was born outside the country. He was developed in America, and he became a player there, and and he got a good job. And it is time for him also, seeing he's proud of his country, he's proud of his people of Lake State, and he's proud of the peace currently which happened here. There is no need for him to fear. And if he has ability of supporting people of Lake State, and especially the youth program, like in the side of basketball, he's there to do it. And he was very happy. His mother brought him. We took him to governor with his family, and they really gave a lot of statement of their happiness, and a lot of promises that he's going to do something for the youth of Lake State and the people of South Sudan. So I was to request, and we are to request our brothers and sisters who are outside the country, because we now need to initiate a lot of things. But with this economic crisis, sometimes some of the things are on plan, but it is very difficult to implement them. But also, our governor said, let us also do something where these people should trust us first. First of all, we must make sure there is peace. And this peace will create trust in our people to support us. and I took it as something very important. That's why when we want to say something, we say it with a little fear, because if we are not settled, things are not in order, how do we expect somebody to support people who are not in a position of administering themselves? So that's why we are struggling at our level to make sure all the youth structures are put in order before any support are requested by you, to make sure some activities related like this wrestling, which is taking place currently, we have to do it at our level. We have to facilitate them. We facilitate their transport. We give them what they eat. We protect their security. They play. Finally, if it goes successfully, and it happens several times, we will now open our mouth. We will turn our face to wherever you are. Please, now this is what we have done. There is peace already in the state. People at their level, they are cultivating. People at their level, they are now forming up their association where they conduct this wrestling peacefully. They are playing tournament peacefully. They want to come together. Now, if there are some obstacles that it becomes difficult for them to come together, will you join us? Can you drop something in as the son and the daughters of this state? So from there, we will be very proud to ask for any assistance for our activities to take place. So otherwise, thank you so much, Isaac. If there are some questions you want to ask, please, you are welcome. Or otherwise, your state is peaceful, your government is doing their part.
Thank you so much, Honorable William Koji. First of all, would like to welcome Secretary General Majok Makur. Welcome on board. And secondly, also, I would like to say congratulations to you, Honorable William Koji, for wrestling of today that you has opened and you closed it. The went in your way. Rumbek team has beaten a Warial team 9-2. It's terrible, including the office of governor, the press secretary Maburding Jr. won the wrestling by himself. Okay, so Mabruk Alaikum, all South Sudanese, especially the youth of Lagos State. That is a very good thing. My question, as you mentioned before, the restructuring of the youth associations and the programs that they are running. That is it is a logic thing. It's good. It's something that is good to come together and we plan it such that we have one channel of the activities. But there are some sensitive parts which has gone viral in the social media here. We have seen some reaction, especially part of the wrestling recently in the last few weeks. When the Barakazal Youth Association and the new body formed as an interim body of the Lagos State Wrestling Association. What did you people has done as the office, your ministry, to attain into this, to bring these youth together such that they know what you are doing is not harmful or it's not something that will bring crisis or hatred or all these things among the youth? How far you have gone there? I've seen Honorable Governor has interfered and he gave his word, and the work is has to be done and recognize the Barakazal Barakazal Wrestling for Peace Association. What went wrong first?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think the deputy governor made a decision, and the decision was very clear to all of us, and that decision caused row. And as the minister, the protocol of the deputy governor is above me. I could not say anything about it because though there are issues, as we're aware of what has happened. Now, if it caused differences to our youth who are in Juba, of course, it is not here in the state. My youth and the association that are directly managed by me are in order, and they are in control, and they are in peace. So the decision made by the deputy governor caused differences among our youth in Juba. Now, in case the differences continue, it will be now overall boss, who is governor, who is there to make sure such situations are brought to normal. The capacity of a governor he can advise for any situation where all the youth in Juba are suitable with. Of course, there is no official communication to me yet whether the decision of the governor is cancelled, but I'm also hearing over the social media there was a statement released by the governor. Governor Rin is somebody who addresses issues. When things fall apart, he's very good in putting things in order. And I hope he's there in Juba. He might also be in communication with his deputy on how to solve that matter. And of course, I think he will not come back before issues in Juba is brought to normal. Yeah, so that's what I can say. The protocol of the deputy governor was about me. I could not say anything much. And I was not yet also sent to Juba to go and solve any problem related to that. But good enough, our governor is in Juba. He's there on behalf of everyone. He's there on my behalf. He's there on behalf of people of Lake State. He's there on behalf of deputy governor. And in case he intervened, something that brings this people back to one, as we are for peace. And this peace means for every citizen of Lake State, wherever they are. Whether if you are there in America, those who are watching at me in Canada, Uganda, Kenya, and you are in differences, it is our concern as the citizen of this state to make sure you are in peace. So Juba is very near to us here, and of course we will not be happy to see differences happening among our people in Juba. So I'm saying he's there to make sure such a situation is brought to normal. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. We know because anyway, the county, I mean the state, has been in conflict by itself all this time. All youths, they were wild, they were idols. A lot of things have happened. And for those who experience, who grew up in such attitudes, or they need rehabilitation. And this is the very, very important field to engage youth such that they can fit into a normal life in the society, which we appreciate, and we applaud to you for that engagement that you are doing with them. Coming to the agriculture, another campaign your people are doing. Do you people look at the time for the cultivation, and the youth now are engaged and busy touring, wrestling, or other sports happening? Will it not affect the farmers or cultivation participation in the farms?
No, farmers are there doing their work. These youth, they have choose wrestling, and it become their business. They are also benefiting out of it. They are also helping the community, relieving the stress that they have. When you see people jubilating, like before in the Freedom Square, you see all these old women jumping up and down, celebrating whatever the result of the restaurant. It's not bad for them to continue doing this, and it is not bad for the farmers to continue doing their part. Those who remain farming, we call them farmers. Those who come as wrestlers, we call them wrestlers, and they are there to do it at any time they wish to carry out wrestling. And it is not the citizen of the whole state that come to the Freedom Square. These are the sport lovers. But the farmers, they remain in the field. Some of them did not come from our area. Some of them did not come from Yero. Some of them did not come from Chebet. Those who come from there are the players. They are the one who manage to reach here with the few supporters. But the population that come here before are those who are within Rumbek town. They watched it within that 3 hours, and now they go back. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow, Monday, they resume cultivation. They go for weeding. It is time for weeding. Some of them already harvesting Jinet. You remember, in Rumbegis, Jinet is there. People are enjoying. Those who start cultivating earlier, those who started in Afro, this pumpkin, bonjo, almost to come up. And a lot of green leaf are there, vegetables. Green vegetables are almost ready. and already they start enjoying it in the May. We are now in July, approaching to August. We are in August actually. So it is almost the time for harvesting most of our crop, the result of what they have cultivated. So it does not affect farmers from doing their job.
Great. Thank you. Secretary General, if you have any question, I will give the floor to my co-host, Secretary General, and my co-host, Agardeng Mabok, Information, Secretary of Information, if they need to ask anything. If I have anything that I will ask, I will come back to you later.
I will just forward one question before Majuk, and then Majuk will come after. So we have our brother here.
Not yet. The question for the commentary, they come at the last.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will just drop mine then.
Okay.
I will ask you, our minister, about Wenyin, because you mentioned Wenyin. He came back to our beautiful nation, and he came back to Lagos State, as you mentioned it earlier. So Wenyin, he came, and he has been in the media always from Juba until he came to Rumbek, which is city of Lagos State. And the main point, he said that he want to build a basketball court in Rumbek. So, and we didn't hear anything about that in Rumbek. And you said that he met the governor, and you guys, you were there, and we did not see any clip of him or any kind of repeating the thing that he has said already.
The thing that he has said
So,
already. So,
I mean, Isaac,
I just,
I'm repeating myself. I don't know what
I'm
happened.
repeating myself. I don't know what happened.
It's a side of Honorable
It's a
William
side of
Koji.
William.
There are two devices are
There are
open.
two devices are open.
Close one.
Yes.
Close one.
Sorry.
There are two devices
There are two
opening
devices
on your side. That's why we have echo.
on your
All
side.
of us here in the
That's
studio,
why
we
we
have
have
a echo coming.
all of us here in the studio. We have a people coming.
I don't know, when we tamper with anything again, it will make us go off. If it cannot disturb you, please let us continue the way it is. I fear to tamper with anything here, because this thing of yours is very complicated.
Or maybe you put it in the loudspeaker properly.
Put it in the loudspeaker.
Loudspeaker?
Is it?
Yeah.
Loudest?
Is it? Yeah.
Yes, but I'm getting you. I think I was to answer what Agar Mabuk asked.
Yeah.
Okay. If you get my question clearly, you can go ahead. Yeah.
You can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, why he came and he talked of building a court for basketball, and he did not see any communication related to that. Here in Rumbek, Lake State, we have many spaces. Only that it needs those spaces to be built, to be constructed. And if he's ready to construct for us a basketball court, it is there. We have the one near Rumbek Secondary School. We have the one in Rumbek Freedom Square, and many other fields. So it is just a matter of a time when he's ready to start his work. He'll be given one of the field so that he can construct. This field belongs to this youth. This field belongs to sport activities. So the other time there was these members of media were not there. I told you last time also, you are appoint for us. You are a member, Lagos State media journalist, to be here on the ground, so that when a member from your side come on the ground, it will be his work, and it will be him interesting so much to record and send back to you people what you think is important. That time he came, but very unfortunate, members of the media were not there to send to our people the statement he released when they were together with the governor. The governor was ready, and he received him, and he told him, whatever you want to do, we are ready to assist you. We are ready to surrender to you a land that you want to build a court. This court may belong to us. And that's what we are supposed to do as a government or with our partners. And if our son who tries to come back and is willing to do something, we'll be ready always to respond positively. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Thank you. Majok, you can go ahead.
Kerjok, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Chairman Ben Agar. Welcome, Honorable William Koji.
Thank you, Major.
My apologies for coming in late because I was still on bed. I remember this morning I was here on our side. And it's good that Isaac asked you several questions relevant, especially the issues that are actually encompass the entire Lagos State. First of all, let me appreciate you for the good work that you are doing and the entire leadership of the state. You have really managed, and we have been following you going to your release, your West, and all the counties, trying to monitor and give confidence to those players on the ground. That is a good thing. Citizens always appreciate when they see their leaders around. Keep it up. And sport is one of the best activities that always engage our youth in order not to be idle. As you put it before, it was so clear that an idle man or idle mind is a devil workshop. And you don't want to give that space to the devil to operate in the mind of our youth, which is very good. Yeah, basically, I was having two questions. Number one is the one which was asked by Isaac in regard to the wrestling. The leadership of the state came up with the order from the deputy governor to form an interim body with the different names, that is Lagos State Wrestling and Cultural Association. And he appointed the interim body. That thing did not went well with the youth of Lagos State, especially in Juba. And we have heard yesterday when governor arrived in Juba, he managed to release a statement. My questions will be a follow-up of that question before I move to my last question. You answered correctly, Honorable, that it is not in your jurisdiction to interfere because the deputy governor is above you and you cannot say anything. That is very good. But this, my question is, since the order was released, we have all seen on social media what is happening among our youth. And Governor went and released a statement yesterday, verbally, although the statement was not official like the written document. What will you do as the Minister of Youth, Culture and Sport to bring these youth together, especially the youth in Juba? Remember, there are two bodies now. There is a body which was formed by the deputy governor, and there was an existing body of Barkazar Wrestling Association in Juba for the last 3 years. Despite the statement released by the governor that he has given green light to Barkazar Wrestling Association to continue with the activities of wrestling in Juba. Remember, the team of Lagos State Wrestling and Cultural Association is unhappy with the team of Barkazal Wrestling Association. How will you bring these two bodies together to coexist the way they were before the order? Thank you.
Yeah, I think my job is that is one of the very good question. But what I want to tell you here clearly, I don't want to discuss the decisions or the statement of the two. They are my bosses. What I want to know finally, and that's what I said before, good of it, governor is in Juba. And the governor represents all of us, including the deputy governor. And the governor is a man that solves issues and makes sure people of Lake State are doing one. He will not come back from Juba before all these are brought to an end. He must make sure, and that's what I know, with his ability, these two bodies will be brought together. If he also said, let minister join me here in Juba, and he invite me, I will go. But with his capacity, a capacity of a person that do everything, he do it, and he allowed me to continue doing my work here as I'm moving the whole counties of Lake State. I'm moving up and down. He said, let minister continue there, and I'm here to solve it. He's there on our behalf. So before he return, let us not discuss much. He's there, and let us see what is he going to do after the statement he released, because they met him. If he release any statement, then he has to go for actions. Action by calling these two together and convince them. He has to convince them, let this the first association continue, or let something different happen by bringing people together and they go for meeting. Whether they confirm the two bodies to operate, it will be upon him. Whether he advised them to go by the old association, it will be upon him. Because if there is need for having Barakazal Wrestling Association, yeah, it is not bad for our Greater Barakazal to have a wrestling association. That is the level of Barakazal. If people of Lake State want to separate certain body, that is for Lake State, and they are answerable to Barakazal Wrestling Association in Juba, and they met their two bodies to operate in Juba, and they agree by all of them. Other members go to State Association, others go to Barakazal, which is very big, and they make it peacefully, there will be no problem. Only that the decision we made from here before the two bodies were brought together, and it caused issues. But since it has caused issues, there is no need for me now to discuss it, because governor is in Juba, and I know he will call the two bodies together, discuss with them, bring peace among them, then he returned to state. Or if he said, you stop what you are doing currently in Lake State, moving to the counties, come to here to Juba, come and solve this matter. As mandate from him, I will go. And then we will agree with him what will be the modalities of bringing these people together. But if he can do it at his capacity as the governor, who is currently in Juba, we don't have problem with that. So what I'm saying, let us wait. Finally, what will be whatever he's going to decide. If he decides to call them for a meeting, we will also know that. If the statement he released is what he meant, Kalas, he's their governor. He has to go as he said, you know, and people have to be abide by to that, because by then there was not this big row when they were under Barakazal Wrestling Association. And if that's what he have seen, it is good for the youth in Juba to be under Barakazal Wrestling Association, and it doesn't have any conflict like what is happening currently, then they have to go. And it will also be his advice, and he will also advise his deputy. You know, the decision we have made has caused a lot of row among our youth. Please let us go by what is good for them, and I think that will be the way governor will do it in Juba. But I don't want to discuss it, what is going to be the outcome, because it is not yet clear whether the two will be brought together, or if he made a statement, as you said, it has to remain like that. Or if there are other things that need to be done, again, it may need a minister to go, it will come out from him. Or if it will be him to complete it in Juba when he's still there, it will be upon him. He has all the demanded, he has all the abilities of doing anything happen possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Actually answered the question accordingly. And your suggestions as a Minister of Youth, you put it earlier, youth constitute the biggest portion of our state population. And you will always have headache, because everybody who is managing youth, you are like somebody who has triplets or twins. So it's very hard. Once you breastfeed one, another one will cry. So you had no option to try to balance the two kids. Your suggestion is what my question was looking for, that it will be responsibility of the governor to call the two teams together, sit them down and talk to them. Exactly, that is the best way to go. And as you know, Honorable, Once youth are divided, they will not even give rest to your leadership to continue at the right path. But once youth are engaged and they are dwelling together, it will reduce a lot of things. You mentioned things to do with the stress before, which is the good thing, because the entire world is struggling on how to deal with the stress. And stress as a result of you have no job, your stomach is empty, and you have nothing even to smile upon. You have nothing to be happy about it. So that is very important. When our youth came up with their teams, started from Payi, Rumbek, Awerial, Jebel Kujur, Lienum, Team Fitness, and all other teams, and Ramshel Cultural Group. These were a good thing. It engaged them a lot. Most of them even chant some of the activities that they used to do over weekend, which were not good for their health. But now they're exercising, they're dancing, they're happy, and an unhappy person always thinks right. And that is a good thing. And I'm happy that you suggest that your recommendation also are important to your bosses. You can recommend whatever thing you see that is fit and deemed for your leadership. You can recommend to them, my boss, I can suggest you can do 1, 2, 3. Then your boss can put them into account. And I like that. The respect of the hierarchy is one of the critical aspects of leadership in order to operate without hurting your boss. Keep it up, and I'm proud of that. Second question is the issue of teachers which were detained. And remember, Honorable, if we are asking you anything that is not directed to your docket, it's not because that you cannot answer them, but it's because you are the spokesperson of the government, of the state. So anything that is outside your docket now, we will ask it because you are holding two positions. You are the acting Minister of Information and Communication at the state level, who is the spokesperson of the government, and you are Minister of Sport, Youth and Culture. So you will be answering two questions in regard to this docket. The issue of teachers, as you have seen it, I'm so happy with the technology and how you leaders of our current time are taking time always to interact with your citizen on social media. That is very important. Even if you don't comment, but by the virtue of reading what the citizens are doing, give you information on what to do. And that is the best thing. You are so active on Facebook. The Minister of Education is so active too. Everyone, including the governor himself. And that always gives you information. So the issue of teachers has really caused and gave a bad reputation to our state. And you have posted something some time back, I think this week actually, that the reason why teachers were actually removed from the detention and taken to the main prison is simply because to do the process of taking them to the court for the trial. Have they already been taken to the court for the trial or not yet? Thank you.
Member of the media, I don't escape any question to ask. And you, Secretary General, I know you are very good in capturing a chance. I know such a chance, you will not leave it go before you ask the issues of teachers. And the issues of teachers, I'm the one actually, I spokesman for it. I used to answer anything related to the issue of teachers. Me, myself, as a person, I'm aware this is the only decision of the government of Lake State that caused chaos. You know, a lot of major decisions has been made, but the public and the people of Lake State has been cooperating with it because it is good with them. The one of the teachers, of course, they took it negatively and they did not support it. It's something clear known, and I'm aware. But for your information, this is what happened. The issue of the teachers has been complicated. And when the matter is being complicated, government also took its time to absorb what is it what brings the complication? You remember when the dispute over the payment start, it was at least minor. Police always intervene when there is violence. And after the police intervene, police is supposed to investigate what happened and come out with the result when some people already are put in detention. But before police were given a time, it was being made as a big move, okay, where almost politicians are involved, not all the politicians, but you remember when the members of assembly took over the responsibility, before even these teachers went to assembly. And we know these members. We also need to know why do they involve immediately, and they release some statement, which is so much of incitement. Okay. Two, the number of the teachers that were involved in the strike, and they were recruiting some people who were not even teachers to be involved in the strike. Okay. So it provoked the situation. And when the situation is being provoked, it made government always to take tough measures. Because currently, Lake State government, and that's why there is peace, is always and will be there always for tough measures. People will have to know this one very clear. At least when the situation need to be complicated for a certain reason which is not clear. Okay. Yeah, we know teachers are not supposed to be detained there, but the move that was created behind it in a very short time, it was like teachers were being used, these individual few teachers being used to create certain environment, okay, that intimidate the government of Lake State. This is the clear statement I want to say, Brother Majok. Okay, now the governor took a decision that time. Minister of Education, I know, it is almost going out of your hand. Teachers went with also a lot of propaganda. And it is not all the teachers. And these are the guys, Minister of Education is saying, they are not teachers and I don't know them. Why are they speaking on behalf of teachers, saying the teachers in Lake State have laid down their tools? That is very serious propaganda, and it is not happening. Okay? Now, if some individual who release such a statement are not teachers, and you come and took the responsibility of speaking on behalf of someone, you know, who sent you and why? Why do you have, who give you that mandate? It is one of the things that complicate the matter. Finally, almost 30 of them were released at a time. The ringleaders remain behind so that they face investigation. Why were they causing violence? Why were they attacking the cashier? Why were they creating a lot of move? Why are they creating a lot of propaganda? You know, that's why, you know, you members of social media, you went in, you came in seriously. Members of civil society came in seriously, and almost everyone came in seriously. But the inside story is why MPs, they went in and they also came out with some statement. Some MPs were saying that the government of Lake State have taken their money for the last 7 months. And that was not the cause of their conflict. The cause of the conflict was, we need our money that has been sent in Juba to be paid to us now. You know, and the administrator of education, administrators, including the minister, is saying there are guidelines given to us. You give us time, let the normal payment continue, and we allocate this money being out on your money. Then it has to be done later, and the money is already with us in our account. You know, and this money which had been sent to them, it was something being agreed by all the Chinese state governors in Juba. They were called. The issues of education were being presented by the Minister of General Education in Juba, that education money has to go to their account. And it was not done in hiding. It was done officially. All the governors went to Juba, and this money were allowed to go to their account. Now, when it go to their account, what caused issues again? What involved politicians again? What involved civil societies again? What caused this havoc again, where people go on the street? What is it? And by then, such a thing never happened. something positively is now taking place for teachers, and some elements are coming in to make it negative. It's like even they are not there for the welfare of teachers. You know, now the stage where we are now, governor have directed the Attorney General of the state, together with the Minister of Education, let them go to the court with these teachers. They all need also, those in education have to tell the court exactly these teachers were doing this violence. These are the evidence, okay? Because governor is very fair always. He don't just judge you and you know, leave you that way. No, if education managers are saying this teacher has gone wrong, let them prove more through the court to the people of Lake State and to those who are concerned about teachers. It is now the court to make it clear, because the court will now act independently here in the middle. Because the court will not be influenced by anyone, and the freedom has been given, because teachers, they are our staff, they are also part of this government, they are part of the government, they are citizens, and if they have their right are to be given. And if there are issues that come in the middle that involve, you know, arresting, and then later it has also to involve certain body like a judiciary to make the matter very clear whether teachers were being arrested for no reason, whether this education they create some allegations against teachers and is not correct, which caused this kind of detention. You know, both of them will be held accountable. They will be held answering what happened. Okay, and I think this is where we are now. The court is supposed to take place this week, which is now almost ending. They are supposed to start it Friday, but there will delay in arrangement. Immediately Monday, these teachers will be taken to the court. If they have their lawyers, they are free. They can come with their lawyers. And then those who are from Minister of Education, they have to explain with the evidences. Truly, these teachers have caused ABCD. You know, now it is now the court to look at it. If it is being minor and it does not need these teachers to continue to remain in the detention, the court will just declare you are free, you go. Okay, and if there is somebody there that is not happy to make teachers go away, want to complicate the matter again, we will hear again who is that. And if the court say, no, you teachers, you are guilty of what we have done because of this evidence being presented by the Minister of Education, they will be held accountable by the court. Okay, but while they were being put in detention, it was causing a lot of issues. And you know, remember, this time Lake State is not for issues, and Lake State government and the law itself held everybody accountable. You know, so teachers, if they have gone wrong, the law of the state, the law of this country held each and every one of us accountable. Okay, so it is not only some individual that are supposed to go detention when they have gone wrong, and there are some people somewhere like teachers, if they have done wrong, they are not supposed to go to detention. No, it is not like that. Each and every one of us, you are there to be answerable. If you cause something like insecurity, then how it is supposed to be handled as something related to insecurity, then you have to face it. And I think that's what happened with these few teachers. You know, our Minister of Education is saying they are not teachers. Okay, everybody is saying they are teachers. It is now the court actually to confirm, are they teachers or not? Okay, what make them to be a teacher, they will explain. Okay, and the document that made them to be a teacher, they will present it. Okay, and the Ministry of Education will also explain themselves, these are not teachers because of ABCD. What are the requirements that make somebody a teacher? Okay, because they are denying these teachers, they are denying these people. It is us outside here saying they are teachers, but for them they are saying they are not teachers. Okay, so we need the time now to be given to the judiciary, the court, you know, to take part in this, and by Monday we will hear finally what is the court have found. If they found teachers are guilty, of course that is our judiciary here, and they are court and they are given responsibility of saying something that is not against whatever. So this is what I can say, my brother Majok. I know you are very concerned, but that's what happened.
Thank you so much, Honorable William Koji, for explaining the genesis of what transpired and the result to the detentions of the teachers, of which 30 of them were released, and 6 of them, which were branded as ringleaders, were detained and kept for almost 2 months now. Yeah, actually, There are two bodies here, Honorable. The leg state, the way you molded it to be the way it is now, since you took office for the last 1 month, 1 year and 2 months, maybe. Leg state is enjoying your results. And once you delivered results, it is a responsibility of the citizen and the entire world to watch closely to see what you are doing, whether you will maintain these results or you will dilute the results with something that will not go well with the citizen. And I give you examples. You need also ask the government to watch closely from your neighboring state, especially Warab, and see where they fall short and where shortcomings come from. And we understand, all of us, there are always shortcomings in every leadership. No one is perfect, but your leadership has tried as much as possible to avoid those shortcomings, unless these two things. And you know, Honorable, the issue to do with the teachers, the issue to do with the doctors, the issue to do with the youth, these are the things that are always very critical and vital and sensitive. So they need to be handled with a lot of care. Yes, of course, many citizens were asking, yes, if teachers went for demonstration, demanding their salary to be given to them in a peaceful manner, why were they arrested? Yet they were demanding what belonged to them. Number two, some of them were asking, why were they detained in the military detentions? I remember, Honorable, police and civilians are cousins. When you are in the hand of police, you assume to be safer than in the hand of military personnel. So these were the questions being posed by the citizen of Lagos State, that if there were no another intention, maybe they were so violent in their approach during their demonstration, of which nobody can support that. Why would they not be allowed to be detained by police rather than the military detention? Thank you.
It is not like in the other areas. We are just coming out slowly from a very fragile situation. You remember what happened in the past, and it's one of the things that has been agreed in Juba. When people are detained in police, their relative right to police, and remove the person before the person is being investigated. And it is one of the situations that brought Lake State to a lawless state that time. And that's what everybody condemned. Okay? I don't blame our police, but that's how our civil population treat police. They don't respect them for their job to be carried on successfully. Okay? So now the issue of the teachers that bring together 30 people who were misbehaving, it will have not been the capacity of police that time. How the situation is being provoked, it will not be the situation that police can be given a chance to handle. It is all about how the situation look like. Okay? The situation was being provoked. Some politicians are using it. A lot of incitement is coming in, and it look havoc. That's why you say to be a military detention, you call it to be what? Yeah, for us, we said these are the people who control the situation in Lake State currently. Yeah. It is because of the situation. Or otherwise, the importance of it, what has happened? It has happened, but it is still in the hand of law to judge it finally. What was it about? Why does it happen that way? That's why governor directed to go through the court. You know, if these teachers are told they have gone wrong, the court will tell us. If what you say, the issue of teachers is so much critical, and there are articles that how teachers are supposed to be handled separately, the court will also use that article of releasing them. Okay, and it will not be nobody will go against what the court said, provided the situation which was being, provoked has been made to come to normal. Okay, the propaganda which was being made by the teachers through the social media is not there, and it was not allowed to happen as they meant, because they were mobilizing for something. Okay, so I think this is how I want to respond. Let us wait for the court to take its time.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable.
I will end my questions here with you. The remaining part of whether they are teachers or not bona fide teachers, I should not ask it to you, because there are some questions that are linked directly to the docket in charge of the education sector in our state. And we are looking forward as Lagos State Media to host our Honorable Minister of Education. And maybe you will tell us more, because there are some good things that are happening in our state, like declaring free girl child education in the state is a good thing, and every citizen embrace that idea. There is also the recent declaration made by your leadership, especially Honorable Governor, that the early child marriage should be illegal, and nobody should encourage that. These are some of the good steps being taken, and we really appreciate that as the citizen of Lagos State and as the personnel of Lagos State Media. So some of the few questions, I will reserve them for the concerned Minister, Honorable Nelson McCoy. And we are glad that teachers will be given or granted their right to go to court for trial. And if they are convicted, like they're guilty, then the state authority will handle it on how the guilty person should always be charged. Up to this juncture, I thank you so much for always finding time to come and talk to the diaspora constituency. In regard to your support, Lagos State citizens across the globe, especially those in diaspora, have listened to you. And very soon, we might be writing our letter too, to see what normally transpired in the Freedom Square between the wrestling team of Rumbek and other teams. So maybe Banyagar Mabok might write his letter to Mabordeng Jr. to wrestle with him in the near future, and as a constituency in diaspora. Yeah. So we will always be supportive, and whatever things that we can to support the leadership of our state, we will be in a position to do it. Because we are here simply because our people are sleeping back at home, and we always enjoy the peace that you are trying to maintain and trying to sow in our state. Thank you so much. May God bless every citizen of Lagos State, and may God bless our Sudanese. I yield it back to my chairman, my co-host, Isaac. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Majuk. They ran out of MPs, he fall off, and he's supposed to answer 3 questions here from the audience who sent in their question in the commentary section, which we normally do after the interview if we engaged our guest. We come to the audience and we read out the questions. If you, Honorable William, you're watching down there, you missed 3 questions here, which are supposed to be answered by you. One came from Sabit, Joseph Sabit. He's saying that the population now increasing.
I think he will come back, Isaac. Let's wait for him until he come back here.
Okay, then yeah, if I just try and contact him and check if he's coming back.
Yeah, I will try. Also, you guys are forgetting one thing. We have invited the Minister of Education many times, and he turned us down. These things supposed to be clear before William Koji. so that he will answer all the questions. He is the one also who complicated this issue of the teachers to be reaching this time. He's supposed to come forward and alert the media and speak to every citizen of Lake State who are concerned about the teachers. If he was there to answer all this as Minister of Education, it could never been reaching into that stage, as our minister have said. Thank you, and I will go and call him back.
All right, thank you so much, Agar. We wait. While we are waiting, we will see the current event which has just finished in Rumbek in the wrestling field.
Hamu bodan junior and Chijaro man kagara national Bumadi. Bumadi kagara national bodan junior. What are you doing? Hamu bodan junior. Mabur. Hamu bodan junior. Mabur. Wow. Kira jal Bumadi guaj. Hamu bodan junior jal Bumadi guaj. Hamu bodan junior jal Bumadi guaj. Hamu bodan ngaji guaj. Rumah rasa lagi. Yang six two. Kamu dah junior. Kamu berasal dari kamu mana? Kira jual. Kamu dah junior. Kamu dah junior. Junior. Kamu berasal dari kamu mana? Kamu yang dikira no jual bumbu yang ngajuk aja. Kau yang ngajuk aja. Junior. Jauh. Junior. Apa dah Junior? Apa rasa ini lobby sama kawan? Kira gua yang jual bumbu.
President, this thing is hanging and I'm not seeing it. Yeah, Mr. President.
Yes, I just got here. He wrote back to me. He said that he ran out of MPs. He will not be coming back again.
Yeah, maybe you can display the three questions so that we can see them. Then we may close. Yeah,
that's right. That's what I'm gonna do. The first question was coming from Joseph Sebit. Was saying that population is now increasing in the state, and Rumbek Freedom Square will not be big enough to accommodate people in the near future. What is your plan regarding Freedom Square in Rumbek? That's a very, very good question.
Wow.
That to him, yes. And also the second question came from Aterdeng. He said, where there are gaps in any system, government ought to anticipate any shortcomings, additions that spoilers never sleep, that democracy for. That is a message. It's a warning message. It's a message like...
Yeah, it's a message, warning them to be on high alert.
Exactly. And also we have another from Abraham Makirgol. He said that if their names are in the pay list, then they are teachers. The statements of the State Ministry of Education is unprofessional. William Koji had worked with these teachers when he was County Education Director of Rumbek Center. And when he was a Minister of Education, all these guys served as teachers. If they aren't teaching now, it must have been caused by the ministry. If they aren't assigned, that doesn't make them not teachers. So that should be proven or answered by William Koji if he knew these guys before, if they were teachers, but they are not employed now. Their names are not in the pay list. So these are the three questions that we propose to share with William Koji. And we thank him for taking his time and be with us. Finally, he has laid out his vision and the work that he is doing, and he needs support. And that support is the last thing that he should have request all citizens of Lagos State, such that they can help to make some contribution to support these youth in a different ways. That contribution will fit in. But he fall off, it would be the best to come out from him. And he has already started. He wrote some letters to community leaders of Lagos State in diaspora in different part of the world. So all these are the things from my side. Otherwise, we came to our final remarks. I will give each of you your final remarks, 1 minute or 2 minutes for the closing. And thank you. I will start with Agar.
Thank you, Banyajak, and thank you, Majuk, and our viewers and our guest, Minister William Koji, and all who are watching in different places. Thank you all for watching us, Lagos State Media. And this show tonight, today, this morning, was about our minister, and now he follow up, as you heard from our chairman, Isaac. So there's nothing much to say. Thank you, Isaac. Back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chairman. First of all, I'll just give appreciation, and before that, allow me to echo on what you have just said to all citizens of Lagos State across the globe. We are happy in Western world and even in East Africa, in Arab world, simply because there is peace back home. And it is our mandate and responsibility at some point to appreciate and support the leadership that has tried so much to make our state regain its pride and glory among the 10 states of South Sudan. We will always appreciate them for that. And it is the appeal now to all citizens of Lagos State in Australia, in North America, and in other part of the world to contribute whatever little things that you have to support the sport activities that are happening in our state. And as Lagos State Media, let's always be happy to support our state government wherever they need our support. Secondly, we were recognized officially by our Governor General Rintoin Mabordeng that we are ninth constituency of Lagos State. As we are aware, Lagos State is having 8 counties, and diaspora is one of the 9 counties. So let's always stand up and do what the county of Lagos State ought to do. Thank you for that, and I appreciate the minister for considering us and appealing to the citizen of Lake to support the leadership back home. Last before the list, I just want to let our viewers know that within 1 hour, we'll be hosting one of the opposition member, especially the SOMA, which we're negotiating in Rome with the government of South Sudan, and one of the non-signatories group, which were just formed a few weeks ago. That is Ambassador Emmanuel Ajawin. And you are all invited once again to come and watch and listen to him, what he thought in regard to the looming extensions and the political atmosphere in our country. Lastly, to all our viewers, thank you so much. I'm here to remind you, subscribe to Lagos State Media YouTube channel in order always to get updates on whatever show that you might miss in one way or the other. Also, you are our eyes. Whatever things that you see is not deemed fit for the Lagos State Media to do, You are free to contact Lagos State Media, contact Isaac, contact Abraham Adit, contact Agardeng Mabok, contact Bolmakur, or contact myself. We are always there to rectify any shortcomings or any mistakes that might arise in our media. It is our responsibility to bring news to you always. Thank you so much. May God bless each and every one of you. We will prepare ourselves now for the next show. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so much, Secretary General Kerjok Makur. I appreciate your final remarks. We will catch up again, as he has mentioned already. We have another interview coming up shortly. We will end up the show here. We have to say goodbye, and we will catch up. Have a good day. Done.
Rachel movement of Baker and Rachel Buddha Junior. Why am I going to Rachel Governor in your board? By your Macon, champion of peace. The door and Chicago. Young, chicken a tongue, a door. I'm going to Ranger Peter and Jalopota Junior, the press secretary in the office of the governor. Jalopota Junior at the base. Couldn't you a younger and a shall booming group? Jalopota Junior, the money West. You never put the court to do. Let's go put the book. What a baby. I said a question comes over the point out here. The Picaya. The Picaya can help you. You can pay your fight and you can pay. You can pay. How about that Julia and Chijaro man can get a national Bumadi? A Bumadi can get a national Buddha Junior. What are you doing? Never put the Junior. How about that Junior? Mabur. How about that Junior? About that? Wow!
It's your boy, Young that time. Pancho Legistan, Panchi America, Panji Dwell, Pancho Legistan, Panchi America, Panji Dwell, Panaban Koji Lake, Kankara, Watana watching, Oga, Level Lake, Gear, Pow, Lake, Panda with Yay, Panchi America, Panya Dwell, Chingatonga Pandon, could you ever buy a check out? Paku Panda Jiro, what they are be Dwell venting. Stand Panchi America, Panji Dwell, Pancha Leg Stand Panchi America, Panji Dwell, Panapan Koji Lake, Kankara, Watana watching, Oga Level Lake, Gear, Pow, Lake, Panda with Yay, Panchi America, Panya Dwell, Chingatonga Pandon, could you ever buy a check out? Paku Panda Jiro, what they are be Dwell venting.